Hello, everyone. My name is Krystal Marsh, and today we are going to talk about how to begin your USIS ePortfolio. So, the ePortfolio is required for all students pursuing an area or global certificate in USIS. The ePortfolio will reflect on the coursework, experiences, and projects you've undergone at Pitt that are most relevant to your certificate. The ePortfolio will be completed on Digication, an integrated teaching, learning, and assessment software created for students to showcase their learning. Now, later in today's session, we're actually going to get into Digication and poke around a little bit so you have a better sense of how to navigate the platform, how to begin your ePortfolio, and just become a little bit more familiar with what's possible. You will also be sure to complete and submit your ePortfolio prior to graduation. Now, when you are actually in Digication, as you'll see in a little bit, you'll likely already see your ePortfolio assignment and the due date there. But just in case you don't, be sure to check with your advisors for the specific due date, as it might change depending on the center and the advisor. And finally, your ePortfolio must address certain core issues related to learning outcomes. So these are all of the learning outcomes. What you're looking at is the USIS Global Learning and Engagement rubric. This particular rubric is for certificates with language requirements. If your certificate does not require a language, then it looks exactly the same as this, except you don't have to worry about the language portion. But what I'm going to do now is actually go over each individual knowledge base that we will be assessing in your ePortfolio so you have a better sense of what we're looking for and what you should pay attention to when you're creating your own ePortfolio. Now, I'll say off the top here that a lot of these knowledges will seem really abstract, but there's a number of ways for you to address these particular points. You're going to likely talk about some of the classes you've taken or some of the projects that you've done that you're really proud of, any study abroad experiences, or um, local community groups or volunteer work. There's just a number of ways that you can discuss these. And again, that'll become very clear once we're actually in Digication. But I just want to flag now that there are a lot of ways that you can start addressing these larger knowledge bases that we're going to be assessing. So the first of these knowledges is global and regional experience. So we want to be sure that students demonstrate an understanding of contemporary and past challenges facing cultures, societies, and the natural world on local, regional, and global levels. And we also want to see that students demonstrate an ability to apply knowledge and skills gained through higher learning to real life problem solving. The next is interdisciplinary connection. So we want to see students integrate basic facts, methods, or theories from at least two fields of study or perspectives when applying knowledge and skills gained through higher learning. World and heritage languages. So again, this only applies if your certificate has language requirements. And we want to see students demonstrate application of foreign language listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, and also see that you are capable of examining topics or engaging people in your target language. Next is collaboration and communication. So we want to see students demonstrate skills related to listening, deliberation, negotiation, consensus building, and productive use of conflict, and also want to see ways in which you collaborate and work well with others. Next is diverse perspectives. So we want to see that the student has the ability to recognize the origins and influence of one's own cultural heritage, along with its limitations in providing all that one needs to know in the world. And these include topics such as race, ethnicity, gender, nationhood, religion, and class. And we also want to see students foster curiosity about cultural diversity in other people. There's civic and global engagement. So we want to see you demonstrate community-based learning through service learning classes, community-based research, volunteerism, or services within the community. And also want to see students engage with communities in the world through coursework, local international groups, and taking a leadership role in campaigns or projects. And then finally, career readiness. We want to see students highlight global competencies in a professional environment. And this is the really exciting thing about this ePortfolio is we are hoping that the work you do in this portfolio can actually extend to your life beyond Pitt. So this will be a really great document to use in job applications or grad school applications as a supplement to other documents that can demonstrate your unique global perspective. So, how do I begin my portfolio? We're going to review the basic functionalities and templates on Digication now. Again, so you have a better sense of what this platform looks like and how to navigate it more broadly. So, when you sign into Digication, your page will look something very similar to this. So, at the top of the page, you will see my assignments and activities. And likely here is where you will find the assignment for your portfolio within your particular center. So here I have the Global Studies portfolio assignment assigned to me. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see My Works, and this is where you can find all of your complete or in progress e-portfolios. And then below that, you'll see My Courses and Groups, where you will find the courses you're enrolled in on Digication. So here I'm enrolled in the Global Studies Certificate, which is obviously corresponding to this assignment that I have here at the top. So after you sign into Digication, be sure to read the instructions that are written for you by your academic advisor so you know that you're clicking on the right things in the right place. And then from there, to start your ePortfolio, you're going to click on Add Work. Now, when you click on Add Work, it will bring you to a page where you just say, I want to create a new portfolio. And then it is creating the portfolio for you. As you see here, Krystal Marsh, Global Studies Certificate. So it is creating the certificate for me using a template that Elaine has already created for me. So you're not starting from scratch when you sign into Digication. You're going to have a template that your academic advisor created for you to help get you started on this process. So if you're feeling a little stuck, or a little unsure about what you should write or include in your ePortfolio, these templates are a really great place to help kickstart your thinking and sort of formalize some of these things. Um, so, as we'll see here, we have the Global Studies Certificate template, and it is a blank slate for us to work within. So, the first thing that we can do, I'll just move myself down here for a second, is start adding your name. So, if you click on this little lock here, it'll open up the ability for you to write things in this section. And so here, I'll put my name. You could put Krystal Marsh ePortfolio. You could just put your name. But for now, I'm just going to put my name to edit it. And from here, you'll see that there are a lot of things for you to start working on in your ePortfolio. So we have a bunch of different tabs that correspond or relate to some of the competencies that we were talking about earlier. So we have the About Me page, a resume page, a coursework page, a language requirement page, a research page, papers and presentations, community engagement, study abroad, and some contact information. And as you can see on every one of these pages, there's also some instructions at the top that can help you if you're feeling stuck. So, for example, in this About Me section, the About Me page is a good place to write a short biography of yourself. Answer the following questions and add the following information. Include a picture of yourself. Be sure to make sure that it's a professional picture. This page should tell the viewer what your interests are in global studies, how you've explored your interests or your global concentration, et cetera, et cetera. And so these are just some questions, some prompts for you to start thinking about what actually do you want to put in this section. So you can just edit directly into the document. So here in the About Me, if I wanted to start this process, um, My name is Krystal Marsh, and I dot dot dot, and then I can kind of continue on from there. There are also a lot of ways that you can customize these pages. You are not stuck with these pictures of Pitt or this adorable hamster. You absolutely should customize and personalize this ePortfolio to reflect you. So there are a number of ways that you can do that. So first thing you can do is simply move things around the page. So if you click on these four arrows, you can move this section, say over here if you wanted. Well, actually, I'm still in the edit. Let's try that again. Um, can move it down here if I wanted, because I wanted to move something else over here or add another text box or something. So you can move this kind of across these pages to kind of organize it in the way that you'd like. You can also change the photos. So what you can do is click on this little pen here, and you could do replace this item. And there are a number of ways for you to do that. So you can upload a file, just upload a picture you'd like to put there. If you already have some pictures uploaded, you can go to My Files and choose from there. If you really like the way you look right now and want that to be your picture, you could take a picture directly from this page. You could record an introductory video. Instead of writing all of this stuff, you can maybe write a little script for yourself and record an About Me section as opposed to writing out an About Me section, or record a video of you introducing yourself in addition to some of the other written elements that you have on this page. For now, what I'm going to do is actually just go to my files and choose a picture that I already have. And so I've replaced it with this picture of me in London because I think that that's a good picture. It's a good introductory photo. You can also edit the caption too. So if you do edit caption, you can, this is me in London. You can add captions to any one of your pictures that you have. And you can also change this background if you'd like. The way to do that is actually by clicking on this big gray button here with the three lines. You can change background for your section. There's a whole button for that. And when you click on it, it'll take you to a very similar page as it did when you were trying to change the photo in the About Me. And so I want to do this because it's this nice embroidery pattern background that I think is pretty and fun. And so that can be my background for myself. So there are a lot of ways that you can customize these pages to reflect you. And we really encourage that. The templates that we have are there to kickstart your thinking, to make sure that you include all of the information that would be most relevant to some of the competencies that we talked about earlier. But we really want you to make this ePortfolio your own, and really reflect who you are, reflect your time at Pitt and the experiences that you've had. And Digication is a really flexible platform for you to do some of that work in. Um, you can also add things here. So if I click on that blue plus button, I can add a number of things into any of these pages that I'd like. So say, for example, that I wanted to include a document, a paper that I've written to demonstrate some of the projects that I've done. I could add that right into one of these pages, and then it is completely interactable, or interactive, I guess is the better word for it, for people to review some of the work that you're talking about that you're proud of. You can include any number of things here. You can record an audio clip, for example, if you have a picture that you took of a place that you went to when you studied abroad and you want to describe more about the experience or what it meant to you. You can do that. If you have a another um, platform that you use, like a YouTube video somewhere for a project that you've done. You can embed that YouTube video directly into one of these places. You can upload something from Box if there's a project that lives on that platform. Um, you could just create a new text box if you want to describe a particular experience and there isn't a text box available for you. You can just do any number of things on Digication, add any number of things that are here. Um, you can also edit these sections themselves. So I'll move myself out of the way again. If you click back on this, you'll be able to edit some of these sections by clicking on this little pen. And so, say for example, you are in a certificate that doesn't have a language requirement, you can delete that page entirely. Or say that you wanted to add a new page to supplement some of this. Like if it were me, I might want to type in teaching experience because I have a bunch of that. So then maybe under I can make this a new page kind of all into itself, or I can put it underneath coursework and kind of make that a sub page. So what I can do is click save. It's actually going to confirm that I've deleted that language requirement page. So I'll do yes, delete it. And then as you can see here, the tabs have changed on this page. So I no longer have language requirements because I don't have a language requirement. And under coursework, I now have this separate page called teaching experience because I want to have a particular page explicitly for that because I think it'll be really useful. Um, the cool thing about a lot of these templates is that there's a lot here for you to again chew on. I think some of them actually even have some like questions that you can answer. So under study abroad, we have here where did you go, when did you go, and what did you do there? And so you could start writing something. I went to London to study abroad, and then you can expound a little bit more on those experiences. Um, and as you can see, when you're done, it removes the question, and then all that is left is your answer. So make sure that you are writing out your answers to these questions in a way that a reader wouldn't need to see the question in order to understand what you were talking about. So these really should be texts that exist into themselves. The questions are there to help, again, kickstart your thinking, prompt your memory and sort of the ideas that you want to put forth. And again, there are a lot of ways that you can to customize each page. You know, in your study abroad page, you might want to add some images. Here, this template already gives you an opportunity to do that if you click on images. You can upload files or you can go to My Files if you already have it, and then you can upload this image. Again, if you go to the plus sign, you can upload any number of things here. You can embed images or create videos or upload videos. It's really up to you to determine like what you want this to look like and how you want this to reflect you in your time here at Pitt. And so be sure to read the instructions for each individual section, get a sense of what your advisor is looking for, and maybe write out some ideas that you have, and then really have fun and play around with it. Play around with what you most want to include, how you want to organize this, and get creative with some of the things that you decide to share in your ePortfolio. Now, to end, I want to show you how to submit your work and then also give you an example of my personal ePortfolio to, again, get a sense of what's possible in this space. So, to submit your ePortfolio, and you know, this will probably happen over a couple of sessions. As you've seen already in editing this ePortfolio, it saves your progress as you complete it. But if you're completely done, you're ready to submit, you will click on this blue submit button. And then under in progress, it will have the ePortfolio you're working on. So click on your global studies portfolio. And then from there, it will show you all of the pages of your ePortfolio. So everything that we've created so far. So likely when you are submitting your ePortfolio, you're going to choose all of the pages that you want. But if you want to submit a partial portfolio and then come back and submit the rest, that's absolutely possible too. But for now, let's just submit all of the pages that we have. And so we'll click on submit. You can choose to share submission with your peers or not share submission with your peers. You'll notice when you go on the course page for Digication, you can take a look at any example portfolios of people also in your certificate who have chosen to share. But for now, we're going to not share my submission with my peers because this is an incomplete portfolio. So if we click on submit, it'll give us this reminder here of what it's doing. And I'll also say too, after you submit, you can continue to edit your ePortfolio. You just have to resubmit, which is absolutely possible. So if you've already submitted your ePortfolio and then you want to include another picture in your study abroad section, or maybe talk about another project in the papers and presentation section. You can absolutely go back into your ePortfolio and revise it, and then resubmit it again. And the good thing is that you will have a record of all of the submissions that you've had to make sure that your advisor is getting the best, most updated version possible. And again, it's just good for you to have a record of it. But again, it's nice because it's a pretty flexible space. So you can revise if you decide to add something else or just have a mistake or something, and you still have time before the due date. This is taking a weirdly long time. It doesn't take this long all the time, but we can kind of X out of it as it's submitting because it'll continue to submit again. So let's try this one more time. There you go. It is submitted. Um, or it's still working on, oh, this one has submitted. Great. So we do have this one that we've already worked on that is already submitted. It says you are viewing a submission. But then when you go back to my assignments and activities. You can, as you can see, resubmit and change some work from your ePortfolio. If you go to your home and Digication as well, you can go to My Works where you can see all of the portfolios you've created. So you can go right back to this portfolio, which is the one we submitted to the Global Studies assignment, and you can edit it right from here and then resubmit on that page that we've already looked at. So really easy to resubmit. You get records of all of your submissions and resubmissions, just in case you need to go back and edit anything. But it's a really easy process. So from here, let's take a look at a completed ePortfolio. This is my ePortfolio. And so some of the stuff will look familiar because I used it in that sample portfolio we just made. But as you can see, I've changed the font in a lot of these spaces. I have changed the colors. I've changed some of the tabs at the top just to better reflect myself, my own experiences, and the kind of um, uh, worker and student that I want to portray myself as. So here in my beginning, in my About Me, it's a very simple About Me page. I just have a picture of me that I think reflects me and my personality and my research, and then a couple of paragraphs on who I am, what I'm interested in, etc. The next thing I have here is research because I do a lot of research and I think that's a big part of my time here at Pitt. And so I have outlined sort of major research projects that I'm working on. I actually have a sample paper here, and these are a couple of images from some theater productions that I'm talking about in this specific paper so that, whoever's reading it has an idea of kind of what exactly I'm talking about. And I think they're also just like really fun images too. And then under coursework, I have a couple of different tabs. So I have coursework that I did for my master's degree at King's College London. So I have the name of the class, followed by a couple of sentences on what that class is about. I have that for Pitt as well, so that whoever's reading this has a sense of the kind of coursework that I've completed during my graduate programs. I have a teaching and experience tab. So I have a picture of me teaching in a classroom with a couple of sentences that talk about my teaching and the kind of teacher I am and my teaching statement. I also have a link to a video of a lecture I gave. This lecture I gave when we were in lockdown and all of our classes were virtual. So I thought that would be an interesting thing to include for someone to get a sense of what my classroom is like and how I like to put forth information to students. I have a sample syllabus here that I think reflects the kind of classroom I like to run and I think is important for people to know. And something I want to sort of put forth. Global connections. I have a couple of different images of me abroad. This is a picture of me from my undergrad years when I went to go study abroad. And I talk a little bit about that experience. And then I did a master's degree abroad. And so I have a picture of me and my cohort and what my degree was and what I was interested in when I was there. And then I have a recent picture of me abroad and how my research is still interested in global studies and international cultures and sort of what that means for me and my work and my own global perspective. I have my resume here with a statement about what kind of worker I am and what kind of positions I'm looking for. I have sample work. So I have a video of me moderating an event here for USIS. I have a link to an article I wrote that's online. I have another um, uh, uploaded document that's a chapter of my dissertation that I think would be important for people to read. And then finally, I have contacts. So I recorded a little video here. There I am, saying thank you so much for looking at my ePortfolio. Please feel free to contact me. I'd be so interested to talk to you. So I have my email, my LinkedIn, and just some general thoughts for people to think about as they complete looking at this ePortfolio. So as you can see, this is modeling a lot of the information that you find in these templates that are there for you when you create your ePortfolio, but I've decided to make a lot of this my own. Visually, it's my own. I've decided to add a lot of things that you aren't necessarily asked to add in the templates themselves, because I wanted to make this as personal and as customized to me and my own perspective as possible, because that's really what we care about most. We want you to tell us about who you are. What did you learn in this experience being a certificate student at USIS? What are things that you have found most valuable, that you have learned a lot about, that you will take into the future? The template is there as a baseline, but it's really up to you to decide how you want to build on that to really reflect, again, who you are and your time at USIS. And so that is the basics of Digication. That is the basics of what the ePortfolio is, how Digication works. I really recommend just poking around Digication a little bit before you even start officially writing stuff or adding stuff because I think it is a platform that shows itself best when you're playing around with it. There's a lot of ways to be creative. There are going to be two other videos in this series in which we talk about how to better customize your ePortfolio and also how to better narrativize your experience for the ePortfolio. Um, and so do check out those when they are available. I hope that this was a useful start to kickstart your thinking about your ePortfolio and what you might include. And feel free to reach out to your advisors if you have any questions or concerns. And I hope that you enjoy poking about Digication. Bye, guys.